In the next couple of months, I'll publish a series of videos showcasing our exact process behind building our first venture. This exact process can be used for any enterprise, SaaS, or even like if you're a freelancer and you want to learn more of kind of how you should actually build a website. And in the end, it will hopefully create your marketing website to be one of the biggest marketing assets you have for your business and help you skyrocket your business growth.
Left or right?
I'm just gonna cut my bad acting. But that's probably how kind of people are gonna be finding your business in today's over-communicated society. So before kind of starting any design, development, or even a marketing campaign, you need to actually understand how you want to position yourself and position your business to stand out from the crowd. That's exactly what we're gonna be covering in the first episode of Build to Grow. For the first episode and like for this whole series, we're gonna be following our kind of first venture, which is Authority Gorilla, and showcasing how we think about every step of the process when building a new business. The first thing is like you cannot change prospects' minds. You can always think about, okay, how can I know what my prospect thinks and how can I start positioning kind of either it's gonna be a landing page, a website, or even a whole business around that so that it makes it as easy as possible to understand. You need to come and kind of position your service based on something that they already know and have that as a reference in order to showcase your service. Based off of that, we showcase that in order to rank on Google, you'll have to understand the principles and the art of SEO, hire a copywriter, make technical SEO fixes, create a content strategy, search and create content ideas, find a reliable SEO consultants, buy backlinks and find reliable partners for backlinks, rinse and repeat until you're burnt out, and just showcase this is the process on the left. And maybe they've done some of these steps previously and they're going to understand, okay, they're going to start relating to the product itself. Okay, I've been here, I've done some of these things. Let's see which are the things that I should have done additionally. And on the other side, we go ahead and showcase Authority Gorilla and kind of what it's going to be doing for them. The next thing is going to be giving a meaning to the name itself of the company. And I see a lot of mistakes here. Like there are pretty hard names that you cannot pronounce, like that are pretty hard to remember, that are pretty generic, or that have no like basic meaning in the end that like you do have no idea what the name is. There are brands like Nike or like Microsoft or whatever, where you're going to be saying, okay, those names like don't mean anything and they're great businesses. Yes, I do think that that's possible, but they were first. So when you are first in a category, in an industry or something like that, or even Webflow, they were one of the first no-code tools kind of coming out. You have the luxury of actually giving a name which doesn't mean anything, and you can build the brand value and name around it, and like you can kind of go proceed that way, which is something that we're not doing currently. We're building a service-based business kind of on our case in an industry which is kind of existing for a while. So that's why we need to have a name which is going to have a meaning and which is also not going to be an extension of the Flow Ninja brand. One of the things that we could do, like you can see here on my screen, is like we could just say Flow Ninja SEO service and kind of call it a day. From my perspective and from the perspective of our team, we are the experts at Webflow design and Webflow development and strategy. But if we would go ahead and try to push SEO there, it wouldn't be so easy to implement it into our website, into our pricing strategy on our website, and also to showcase to our clients, just because we're going to try to position our studio instead of a kind of your go-to Webflow partner and just kind of being like Webflow focused. And then adding SEO on top of that would be pretty hard and it would not drive that much attention. Versus opening up another part of our studio which is going to be doing SEO and which we can position completely differently from our core offering as a new service which is going to be an industry leader in that kind of category. Based off of that, you can see that here we didn't have line extensions, so we didn't just say Flow Ninja SEO service, and also we didn't have initials. There are corporations like IBM or whatever which changed their names to kind of initials, but they've been there for like a while, so everybody knows what's IBM. And like, don't be fooled that in the beginning you can do that. You can do that maybe like when you're a corporation, when you go public or something like that. But I do not recommend going through the process just because it's not going to mean anything for your customers. And if you want to get attention as soon as possible in today's day and age, you need to have a fun and catchy name, which is going to be pretty easy to kind of remember and pretty easy to kind of come by. So we tried like first with Content Gorilla, Content Foxes, Content Jetty. The first two were taken. This one we probably would need to kind of go ahead and kind of contact Disney to ask if we're fine with that. Then we went with Content Monkeys and Content Current, like Flux content, Yo-Yo content, Toko content, and everything was around content. But in the end, we wanted to create a service which is going to be offering content. So we're going to be doing the delivery of SEO, but also we're going to be doing the SEO audit and the SEO strategy all in one package. And like if we wanted to have a name which is Content Gorilla, people would maybe just come to us if we wanted to write kind of content for them. But our service would be much more than that. And in general, we wanted to focus on the outcome that the person would have if they kind of start working with us. Between juggling a million of different words, and you can see how this process was pretty hard for us. And like we searched through Google, we kind of searched internally, we had a lot of meetings just for a simple name, I guess, like that people are kind of skipping around. We decided that authority is something that people are going to be getting when working with Authority Gorilla. We wanted to use the word gorilla just to showcase the experience and that we're going to be taking the best people in the industry working on that. And on the other side, in the end, when you look at a whole picture, when people get an SEO strategy, they get a keyword strategy, and basically all of that combined gets sent into Authority Gorilla and into production on their website. When you're doing any of the new kind of maybe branding projects for your clients or for you or for any of the companies you're doing, or maybe you're a VP of marketing, this is a cool thing to have in mind when you're creating a new product. First, identify, do you want to create a product which is going to be on its own, kind of completely separate from the brand? Many of the companies kind of have something like that. We're using Clockify, which is built by Cake.com, but they're kind of basically creating every single one of the products to be a different brand. And like the heading Cake.com brand is just kind of the company that builds all of them. So like depending on when you're releasing a new product, you can identify, does it make sense to build a completely new thing, a completely new position so that you can continue being competitive in this today's agent market? And on the other side, spend a lot more time on the naming, just because it's going to be a lot easier to grab people's attention if you have a catchy name. The next thing is going to be, don't be complicated. One of the brands that I love kind of a lot, and like which is my kind of like, let's say, North Star here for how you should be naming your businesses is Dollar Shave Club. So like they have shave time, shave money. Basically, you just saw that, you understood, okay, with this brand, I'm going to be shaved. I'm going to be shaved cheaply. And like I'm gonna be shaving my time, like because they're a subscription service for just a few dollars. So based off of that, this is like a prime example of kind of a new company, not old companies. They had it easy, I would say, but like somebody building a new company and getting into maybe a new category, a new industry category pretty easily by having a great position, by having a great title and kind of great subtitle and just kind of a great name around it. And like probably their marketing team has spent a lot of time on that. Additionally, like great examples is like Avis is number 2. We try harder. A while back, Avis couldn't kind of become one of the best businesses out there for transportation just because they were marketing themselves as number 1. And like everybody knew, okay, the other guys are number 1. You're not the number 1. But the moment they changed their positioning to we're number 2, we try harder, people were like, okay, they might actually try harder just because they're not the first ones. So just try to kind of understand how you can simplify your business and simplify your message. Many of the times I see people kind of having words like the ultimate, the best, visualize your marketing growth, the words which don't mean anything in the end, like, and you don't understand what you're going to be getting. With a lot of brainstorming, we actually came to Webflow SEO and content experts. Based off of that, okay, we have Authority Gorilla sharing just kind of everything they're going to be getting. And on the other side, we do have Webflow SEO and content experts all in one as heading. There, people are actually going to understand what they're going to be getting. And in terms of explanation, they're going to be, we help brands increase their visitors and conversions with content, technical and SEO, on-page and off-page optimization. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Everybody's going to understand what we're doing. And on top of that, we also added just a slight paragraph below the waitlist to showcase that that's going to be a 1 monthly fee, just because we want to be as transparent as possible and as easy as possible to use. The next thing I want to cover is like that you shouldn't lie about your positioning.
Why you always lying?
I've shared here an example of some incredible SEO companies which were our inspiration when we were starting our Authority Gorilla project. All of these companies are great. It's just about showcasing how we plan to position against them, and like we don't plan to compete with them or anything like that, just because I don't think that there is no need, but just to showcase how our brand is going to be different from everybody else. Based off of that, we have, let's say, Paid Digital. Like I love his channel and like all of his work. For me, they're one of the leading kind of, let's say, Webflow SEO people from their positioning, and like they're one of the first ones to come to there. So it wouldn't make sense for us to say, okay, we're number 1, we're number 2, we're like I don't know, kind of we're the first, when we're not, and people are gonna know that. So we just went ahead and completely skipped that part. On top of that, we also added here to showcase, okay, like they're pretty specific. Yes, they're doing Webflow SEO, and like we don't plan to attack them or anything like that. And we also do pretty specific things like with Webflow SEO, but they're not productized. So on our side, we wanted to go ahead and create a productized service, which we're going to be covering in the next slide. The next thing is, like, in today's age, I feel like you should not appeal to everybody. And like I've just showcased here kind of pretty interesting graph of kind of how we came to like the positioning for Authority Gorilla is by identifying these companies. So another great kind of company is Directive. They do all marketing, not just SEO, and like they're pretty big company, like 100 plus people, and like they're a conglomerate. They also do incredible work. But when we were comparing our business to their business, we wanted, okay, we want to be a lot more specific in what we do. So, okay, we're doing just SEO and content. So like nothing else like on the marketing side, and we're doing it just for Webflow. Based off of that, it can showcase that even if somebody's big and delivering great work, if a person is looking for a Webflow SEO expert, they're probably going to be coming to us instead of them. Like, just a hypothesis, not actually like what's gonna be happening. Like that's how you can start going ahead and thinking about kind of all of the different things. Additionally, like our inspiration was like kind of boring marketing. They're like not platform specific. So on our side, we're even more specific in terms of how we're delivering the service. On their side, they're kind of productized, so which is great. And like they're like in a similar price range as we are, but they're kind of not platform specific. So we have an edge there. We are kind of coming to a deeper market and kind of addressing a little bit of a different needs. And on top of that, they don't have any guarantees. So we wanted to go ahead and kind of add guarantees, which none of the other SEO agencies are doing. And like usually it's what you see is what you get, and kind of you got it and that's it. But on our side, we wanted to go ahead and give some guarantees to showcase that we're confident that we're going to be driving results for them. And two other companies that we also kind of compared is like Bigberg. Like they also have a great positioning, but they're doing just e-commerce. On our side, we're going to be doing more kind of, let's say, first Webflow specific, but on the other side, we're going to be covering different industries than just e-commerce. Based off of that, they're not a direct competitor, but they were a great source of inspiration when we did actually create a business model itself. And then the final part is like copy driven. They're doing just copywriting. So like they're not kind of providing you any outcome or anything similar. They're just kind of going ahead and providing straight copywriting services on an exceptional level. We took some inspiration like just on their positioning kind of for us, like on the copywriting part, but we do deliver an authority package, I would say, in the end, which covers everything. So based off of that, we're also kind of positioning for a different market that they are. So like all of this combined can actually helped us go to the next process of actually pricing and copywriting the website itself. But it's an interesting part that you can kind of think about when you're actually creating your next website, your next project, or anything similar. And then the part that I already covered a little bit is like that you can outcompete a big company with a specific position. As said, like Directive is an incredible company like doing marketing, but on our side, we're super specific. So like when going head to head to a person who's looking for a Webflow SEO expert, we're gonna be a lot closer and like we're gonna answer a lot more questions than they are. So based off of that, you can always think about when you're creating a new business or like a new website or anything like that, when you're positioning it, I mean, that if you're competing with some of the kind of bigger companies, the more specific you get, it's gonna allow you to basically outcompete like people who have been inside of that kind of for a while, and based off of that, get more conversions and get that kind of blue button actually kind of printing dollar signs. And the final part of this video is to actually go ahead and read the positioning book. So we're having it here on screen, and like we might have some links here, but it's a great book that I've taken most of these concepts from, and like that we're using this at our Flow Ninja Studio kind of for our clients at Flow Ventures for building new ventures. And we're always having a little bit of a reverse process where we first kind of position a company or a client or anything like that, and only then moving towards copywriting, pricing, design, or anything like that. Hopefully you're going to be getting a lot more value by reading the book in more detail and start having some more ideas on kind of how you can position your business or your client's business, or in general just be a better professional at any position you're on currently. And that's it for the first episode of the Build to Grow. So hopefully after watching this video, it's gonna spark a lot more ideas on your mind on kind of how you should be starting any new venture in your life, whether it's gonna be a client's or yours, or like for your career or for your kind of your job you're currently at, and just kind of start thinking about positioning as the way to kind of build new businesses, to build new websites, to build new landing pages or anything similar. Until the next episode, where we're gonna be talking a lot more about pricing, you can go ahead and press the like button and subscribe button to go ahead and follow us in this journey where we're building our first venture, Authority Gorilla.